At least we're being awed by the ceaseless march of time rather than James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy is projecting to not do terribly great, which
Yeah.
color me legitimately surprised. And I'm not being like sarcastic. Well, imagine my shock. No, imagine my shock.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this too because of all the upcoming Marvel releases, this is the one I think I would say would probably do very well. Given the fact that the first two movies were really popular, and that, like, and of course, you have the new ride at Disney World, which is a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah, it's weird. It's just
yeah,
weird. And go ahead and pull
it
up
could
some comparison points.
it could very well be because maybe it could be because Marvel is on a downward trajectory, and it's a Marvel movie, and nobody's like, you know
It,
nobody really
it,
cares.
it could be that they have finally killed that golden goose.
Yeah, and of course, given the fact that it's the last movie with I think it's the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie, standalone movie,
Yeah,
and of course James Gunn is done with
he's going over to
Marvel.
DC. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over at DC now. So I mean, it's odd, but I mean, hmm.
Yeah, I mean, $130 million projection, that actually puts it behind the 146 and change opening that the last one did in 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah,
So, and that's without ticket inflation and regulation inflation.
right. Yeah,
So there's a level where you're kind of, it's all based on what the last movie was. And I know while I really enjoyed the movie, a lot of people were really disappointed by Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I've even heard some people make some rumblings against the holiday special.
yeah. The I will say I thought this volume two was I thought was good. I didn't think it was as good as the first one, but I mean it was. I thought it was a solid enough movie, and it. I will say I think it took a little too long to get going. It was a little slow, but it was a good movie. I mean, I liked Kurt Russell in there playing Ego.
Yeah, and,
Uh,
and Yondu had a really good send off.
yeah, yeah. And the holiday special was okay. It was I did actually I'll probably put a card up in there where that was my thing of the week last right around Christmas.
Yep.
And yeah, it was basically pretty low, obviously very low budget. It was Drax and Mantis wanting to cheer Peter Quill up for Christmas by by kidnapping Kevin Bacon.
Which that might be the most Guardians of the Galaxy plot you could possibly do.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Ninja says volume he thought volume two was better than the first one, more personal journey. The first one was more comedic. Yeah,
I would say there are different stories trying to do different things.
yeah, I would say so too. And if you feel like you need to watch the holiday special before the third one, I will give away a spoiler from the holiday special. Mantis and Peter Quill are brother and sister.
I remember you mentioned that at the time, and me just being mildly flabbergasted by that.
Yeah,
Just, just because it means that Mantis could have possibly been an ego too, but I guess.
but yeah, for whatever reason, he didn't want her, and didn't and
Although, refresh my memory, wasn't she introduced as his servant?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like she interprets ego, or she's like.
Yeah, I don't. It's been a while since I've watched that movie,
Yeah.
so I can't
So,
really.
so that connection might make slightly more sense. Like, I guess he did say that he had trouble birthing one who could be an ego or a living
Yeah,
planet. So, oh, you're off. I'll let you off this time, movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Although anybody who I have a half memory that the Telltale game you could almost kind of like half ship with Mantis playing as Peter. So that's kind of, if that's right, then that's kind of funny in retrospect.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Now, for comparison's sake, if we compare it to a more recent movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, its opening was 144 million. So this thing is projecting
hmm.
under Thor: Love and Thunder, which is kind of again shocking.
Yeah. Yeah, and Thor: Love and Thunder underperformed pretty bad. Well, not horribly, but not well. But it didn't do
Yeah,
very well.
yeah. If it broke even, it was just broke even. And the interesting thing about it is that you think about it. Okay, so Spider-Man comes out. Yes, no way. Spider Sony Spider-Man 3 because all their titles have the word home in them for some ungodly reason.
Yeah, the way I keep them straight is like breakfast, homecoming, Breakfast Club, or not Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, or something like that, and then Spider-Man European Vacation, and the Spider-Man, I guess would be the third one.
Spider-Man and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
So that comes out. Doctor Strange opens at like 180 million, and then just fell off a cliff after the second weekend. People realized there was no Spider-Man, and the multiverse worked totally differently, and it was a sequel to WandaVision.
Yeah.
So then Thor: Love and Thunder pays for some of the sins of Doctor Strange. And then Black Panther cashes in on honestly Chadwick Boseman's death.
Yeah. Mm.
Then Ant-Man face plants because Ant-Man was successful, buoyed by Avengers and other high-level movies.
Yeah, and even then it didn't do that. Even then, those two movies didn't do that well.
No, they're definitely profitable, and the first one was a worthwhile movie. The second one, they actually I was about to make a condescending they tried joke, but I have no evidence they tried.
Yeah, I don't think they really tried.
Having seen that movie, like,
Oh
do,
god, yeah.
do you know how rare it is for me to be sitting in a movie theater and be seriously thinking if my dad hadn't bought me a ticket and driven me here, I might just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I kind of felt the same way after I bought the Blu-ray. I went, "Oh man, if I hadn't bought this, oh jeez."
Yeah, but so Ant-Man face planted. So if you're kind of suffering from the sins of the previous movie, then that would knock some of the shine off of Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Especially because on a certain level, Guardians 1, okay, there's no way that they saw the reaction to Guardians 1 and rewrote every Marvel movie to be goofier immediately. Because there would have things were too far in production for that to be the case.
Yeah, I would agree there. Yeah.
But it definitely felt like it was patient zero in the humorification of the MCU.
Yeah, I think Guardians 1 gave us Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, which is funny because the Guardians are actually in Thor Ragnarok a little
Love and
bit.
Thunder.
God damn it!
I know,
There are
I
too
know.
many superhero. You know what? I'm looking forward to the end of the superhero movie craze because there are too many superhero movies.
Yeah. Hulk was in Ragnarok.
Right. Guardians was in Love and Thunder, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and yeah, Chengiz said they took the wrong lesson from Guardians 1. Yeah.
yes, Guardians was fun because it was a breath of fresh air in a relatively serious sea of movies with the occasional quip
Right. Yeah.
by God, that America's ass thing in
Oh
uh,
god, yeah.
this in Endgame
Endgame, yeah.
still seems so out of place for the situation.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like a little bit of joshing around for esprit de corps is one thing, but that was weird.
Yeah, or Tony Stark using Axe body spray.
Yeah, and I won't go there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
speaking of not going there, Guardians of the Galaxy, with that kind of opening, if they have a typical Marvel sperm whale opening,
Yeah.
that that is no good for them. That is between the face planting of Ant-Man and now this movie, Phase 5 is kind of a dud. People saying, well, they can bring it back together in Phase 6. What investor is going to say, oh, just keep losing $100 million a movie?
No, no, yeah, they're not going to. Yeah, and which is really irksome because they have X-Men and they have Fantastic Four now.
Yeah, it's weird that those haven't really come up. Just to bring up a rumor I keep hearing, supposedly Adam Driver as Reed Richards.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
My
Maybe.
my big issue with it is that Adam Driver, in everything I've ever seen him in, and I've seen him in a couple of things
Star Wars.
besides Star Wars, he never seems like he's actually happy.
Mm,
Like he has a face, a very morose face.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I noticed that in Star Wars. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
like,
But, so it's like the thing about Reed Richards to me is that the guy is like, okay, so the guy has like a little bit of weight on his shoulders from from what happened to the Thing.
mhm,
But like think of this is the guy who on a weekend will come up with a quantum disentangler and want to go poke around in another dimension just to see what happens.
yeah,
Like the guy is fascinated by everything around him and loves life. I don't feel like Adam Driver could really deliver that.
yeah. I don't know if Krasinski might be able to do that if he brings in a little bit of Jim Halpert from The Office.
Maybe I'm not really an Office guy. And of course
Yeah,
my opinion of him is soured by the fact that he was in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Nobody
yeah,
came off well in that scene.
yeah. No, yeah, no, yeah. Not even Patrick Stewart with that's Professor
No.
X. Like,
Ugh.
yeah, yeah. Well,
What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna
Uh,
do? Yeah,
although your boy Zach over at Comics Matter with your boy Zach did a video this morning where he said, what if instead of making more Marvel movies, what if we just stopped? Let these act instead of making Adam Driver play Reed Richards for the next decade, let him be a character actor in minor roles and
yeah,
have a fulfilling career.
yeah. What a novel idea.
Maybe go back to comic book movies being special.
Yeah. Instead of pumping out five of them a year.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is like the ultimate first world problems.
Hmm.
It so is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 under projecting or underperforming. Because after
Yeah.
all, James Gunn already got paid. He's already moved on.
Yeah.
He's he got fired, but he managed to pick himself up afterwards.
Yeah. I'm not feeling sorry for him.
Nope. Though somebody else who seems to be getting fired who may not be able to pick himself